Destruction and Rectification, Part 1. Shiva Asar Tammuz, the beginning of the end. Today marks one of the most tragic days in the Jewish calendar, the 17th of Tammuz. On this day in Jewish history, 5 significant events took place. The protective walls around Yerushalayim were breached. Moshe Rabbeinu broke the luchot upon seeing Israel's sin with the golden calf. An idol was placed in the Beit HaMikdash. The daily offering in the Korban Tamid was ceased, and the Roman general Apostomus burnt a Sefer Torah. While each event was a tragedy in its own right, the fast was instituted to commemorate the breaching of the walls around Yerushalayim, since this was the beginning of the end of Geula. Just 3 weeks after the walls were breached, the Romans set fire to the Beit HaMikdash, and our third exile began. Each year we commemorate this 3-week period as our transition from Geula to Galut. In doing so, we acknowledge that the time we are in is not only historically tragic, but presently worrisome and susceptible to tragedy. Chazal referred to this period as Bein HaMitzarim, in allusion to the words of Yirmiyahu and Megillat Eicha, describing Nebuchadnezzar's conquest of Yerushalayim. The Megillah writes, "All those who pursued her caught her, Bein HaMitzarim." According to its literal translation, the pasuk reads, "She was caught between 2 narrow places." But Chazal render the verse to mean that she was caught between 2 periods of hardship, the 17th of Tammuz, when the walls were breached, and the 9th of Av, 3 weeks later, when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. Whenever we find multiple significant events on the same date, we have to ask whether they are a series of isolated incidents or a collection of events with a common theme. The Ramchal famously writes in the Sefer Derech Hashem that time is a cycle. Each day was created with a unique essence that we revisit each week, month, or year. Consequently, the major events that happen on each day may be regarded as an expression of that day's unique nature. The Mechtav Meliau echoes that point in his explanation of the nature of our celebration of Jewish holidays. He writes that the days of the year are like stations in time. Significant days of the year are not just commemoration of the past, but a return to the same unique spiritual koach present at that time. Our celebration of Jewish holidays, as well as our mourning of national tragedies, are not only about remembering the past, they are about connecting to the present essence of the day. Consequently, each event that took place on the 17th of Tammuz may be a parallel expression of the same tragic nature. If we take a closer look at each of the 5 events that took place on this day, we can identify a recurring theme. Each instance marked the tipping point from a bad situation that still may be salvaged to a pending but certain disaster. Our primary loss on the day was not a physical one, like death or destruction. That comes later. Rather, an emotional one. We lost hope that things could be salvaged. If beforehand we believed that things could be turned around, on the 17th of Tammuz it became clear that we were past the point of no return and heading towards full-scale disaster. Even as the events in the Midbar spiraled out of control, Aaron had hoped that he could delay the people until Moshe's return and avoid national catastrophe that ultimately took place with the Chet HaEgel. Each year on the 17th of Tammuz, we mourn the passing at the point of no return, the point that separated a downward trend in Am Yisrael from a national catastrophe. At the same time, we hold out hope that this will be the last year we mourn and that we will be celebrating the rebuilding of the third Beit HaMikdash b'mehera b'yameinu.